This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So yesterday, what was the concept we have discussed?
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Sure, no problem.
Just good enough. Yeah, yesterday we discussed about logs, and so in the logs we have seen sys logs and trace logs.
All right.
How to enable and disable trace logs.
All right.
And
then
MQSI properties.
All right. So I got it. So yesterday, basically, we have seen some properties of the broker with the defined and undefined option, and then the traces, and then the logs, and I think some one or two some IAB commands we have discussed, right?
Yeah, that is what we have discussed yesterday.
All right.
But before you open up your today's session, I have yeah, yesterday we discussed these also once, and you said today we're gonna discuss properties of execution group, and you said also troubleshooting setup for a broker related issues.
Right.
And MQSI report the properties. This is what you said we're gonna see today.
Exactly.
Yeah, let me share my screen and.
Okay. So let me start mine then.
Did you give me the access?
Yes, I did. You can share the screen now.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Now this one is for. Okay. The yesterday when we did the logs, like we did where we are now in the working directory. Yeah, I think we are in the logs. So
yeah, these are the trace files of the particular broker BR1. Okay.
No, I'm not in trace actually. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, what is the message right here? So, by message. So right here is where I am facing issues, and I was trying to bring it like to sort it out, like you did yesterday. You just forward slash then broker name, but when I hit the broker name, like it's not going through.
Okay. So basically, you want to search a string in the VA mode in the Linux operating system, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So now, can you click on forward slash key? Forward slash.
Yeah, I did it. It's not working.
Press escape button. And do the forward slash.
Yeah, it's not going.
What? Okay, can you give me the control?
Yeah, hold on. Let me. No.
Yeah, I did a request. You must have received it. Can you just accept it?
Yeah,
Okay, I
I
think
did it.
I got it. Hold on. Okay. Okay, just hold on. Let me exit and then let me reload it. So I'm opening now in VI mode. VI messages. Hey, it's working, right?
What did you do? Why mine is not working?
I don't know. It's I see. I am opening the messages file in VI mode now. See now?
Uh-huh.
Come on. VI messages. That's
So
it.
once it opens, what did you touch? Like, what did you touch
I
first?
I touch the forward slash. There is a shift key in the key at the bottom. I mean, the second line from the bottom, there is a shift key in the keyboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just left side, beside, there is a question mark and then there is a forward slash key, right?
Yeah,
So I just pressed that. That's it.
that is what I did too.
But it's working for me, right? I did nothing else. See,
So
BR1, enter. See, I could able to find out the details. See, integration bus version 9.0.2 BR1. Yes, I could see something. Why it is not working? Okay, let me close. Okay, can you try now?
yeah,
Yeah, it's working
yeah.
now.
Now it is working. Now it is working.
But previously, what happened?
Hold on. Oh, okay, okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. There is a forward slash in other place too, like on the number button, the one which is next to number lock.
Got
So I was
got it.
pressing that
No,
one.
not that. You have to press this one. That's a backslash. The one you were pressing is a backslash. Yeah, try to search now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's working, right?
yeah, yeah. That's fine now. Okay.
Okay. So the thing is, whenever you stuck somewhere in VI mode, you can Google the things so that hey, hold on, you are in insert mode. Don't be in insert mode. Okay, press escape button. Colon. No, you didn't press escape button. Press escape button. Okay, now colon Q exclamatory enter. Now open it
Yeah,
again. Yeah, it's now opening. No, capital BR, not small. Yeah, it's working. Now again, you are in the insert mode now. Okay, you are in the escape mode now. Fine. So the thing is, I mean, I suggest you just do a Google about VI things so that you get some familiarity about VI.
yeah, yeah. I was doing it, but
Okay.
because of this thing, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so the other things I have,
Mhm.
how can we, like, since this thing always goes with the MEQ,
Mhm.
how can we create users on MEQ, and at the same time, how can we know like what are the users which have got access to the queue manager or like overall the queues,
Okay. So the
especially in
answer,
like enterprise
yeah,
services.
I got your question. So the straight answer for your question is only MQM user is having the access for a queue manager and for broker. By default, no other user will be having the access for queue manager and broker. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you want to check how many users are there and my user is part of which group, I think I already told you the
The
command.
one with the ID MQM.
Exactly. ID space MQM. Click enter. Now, when you hit the enter button, you see some output, right? The first thing UID, it means
Yeah.
user ID is equal to 1001. That is associated for MQM user. Okay, and there is with the same MQM name, there is a group ID also, GID 1002. And with the groups, it means MQM user is a member in the MQM group and then MQPRKRS group. That is the last thing we can see. Okay, and if you want to see where my user exists, I mean, what are the users exist in this operating system, the thing you can do is you can cat etc passwd. There is a file called passwd in etc folder in the root file system. So when we create any user, this passwd file is going to be updated with a particular user ID. For example, if I cat this file, it is going to display the content inside passwd file so that I can verify how many users exist in this server right now. So I'm catting it now. Now it is open a bunch of lists. So here is the place where we executed the command. Now see, there is a root user, there is a bin user, there is a daemon user, ADM user, LP user, like this, hell lot of users. And at the bottom, see, I believe this must be your user ID, where you created
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
operating.
Yeah.
And this is the MQM user which we have created, which is a part of this group ID and 100 group ID. 1001 is a MQM group ID, 1002 is a MQPR KRS group ID.
So you're telling me there is no way we can see the list of users there, like we have it in IIB. In IIB, like you just add users to the brokers.
Come again? I didn't get your point. Can you come again?
Like in enterprise environment, when we have like IIB developers and admins, just the people raise a ticket, and then like I raise my ticket to be added to the broker. Like if I wanna get added to development dev environment, then the admin people, they add my ID there, then I can access the development.
That's right. So the thing is, you will be having a particular group where that group is going to have the access. For example, here we have a group called, okay. So the thing is, if I do ID MQM, it is going to show me MQM user ID is a member in MQM group and then MQPR KRS group, right? So we have already seen the user list will be in etc password file in the operating system. In the same way, the groups are going to be a member in etc group file. When I cat this group file, it is going to list out what are the group names which have been created in this operating system. For example, I'm getting this. See, it is showing me now a bunch of lists. So this is the command where we have executed. Now here we can see root is a group now. It's a group now. Group, like wheel, it's a group. In the same way, there is something called MQM. See, MQBRKRS, it's a group, right? And MQBRKRS group having a user as a member. And there is one more MQM group, but this MQM group is having nothing. So this is way how we can see the groups list in the operating system of the Linux.
Yeah,
is
but
this the
my
question you were
is,
asking?
my question is, like you told me you work on MQ, yeah? So
Yeah.
if you work as MQ admin and there are MQ developers too, like if some employee get hired to that company you're working for, how do you give an access? How do you give an access to that new employee to have MQ Explorer and develop whatever he wants there and deploy to the manage like MQ manager or brokers? How will you do that?
So let me clear you one thing here for you. So the thing is, MQM developers will be nowhere in the world. Only IBM develops MQ. The MQM developers sit in the IBM laboratories and they develop the MQ products. MQ 99.99% of the cases, MQ is pure administration. It's not a development like IIB. Okay, because
that's fine. So if you are an admin now, like you are working as an admin in some companies there.
All right.
So if tomorrow some new guy gonna join the company working beside you as an admin, how do you give him an access?
So okay, so I mean, right now I am the only employee. Tomorrow, one more employee is joined. How is going to get the MQM access so that he can do MQ operations?
Right.
So that's what your question, right?
Right.
Okay, simple. It's very simple. So the thing is, whenever an employee joins, for example, if my employee ID is EMP1, okay. So when I want to do MQM operations, first of all, my ID should have a sudo access to switch to MQM user. So the thing is, I will log into my server as EMP1 and I will be opening a request. Please provide me a sudo access to switch to MQM user. So that in the server, first of all, I am going to log in with my employee ID and then I am going to switch to MQM user. For example, I'll tell you. Can you enter your root password here?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Consider root use an employee. Okay. The thing is, root user can't do any kind of in-game operation. For example, if I do DSP it is going to show me a queue manager ended unexpectedly. Now, if I want to start the queue manager using strnqm command, I'm sure the queue manager is not going to showing me permission error that you are not authorized to perform the request operation, because the people who switch to MQM user only they can have the access. Okay. Now, one employee is logged in as a root user, but he can't do MQM operations because he is not switched it as a MQM user. Now, first of all,
isn't the root user supposed to be superior to MQM?
No. He's not. That's the magic of MQ. He can't do MQ I mean, we can't do MQ operations with root user.
Okay, so MQM user should be there every time. Okay.
Right. So the thing is, now we need to switch to MQM user. We need to get the sudo access to MQM. So the thing is, I will place a request. Hey, this is my ID. This is my employee ID. Can you please provide me a sudo to MQM access so that I can do MQM operations? So we have to place a request to Unix team so that Unix team can provide us the sudo access. So consider if I want to switch to root sudo to root user, sudo to MQM user, then we have to execute one more command, something like sudo su minus mqm. When I click this button, okay, see, now it is loaded a lot of properties. It means that whatever the sudo level access with the MQM you are having, all the profile for MQM is going to load, and then if you do who am I, now you are not MQM anymore. You are not root anymore. You will be MQM. Now you can do MQM operations. So the thing is, in the real time, there will be two level of accesses. The first level of access is going to be with your employee ID. The second level of access is going to be sudo to that particular user. If we sudo to MQM user, now we can do the MQM operations. So right now, if I execute DSP I can see QM1 is ended unexpectedly. Now if I do strMQM, I'm sure it is going to start because right now I'm in QM.
What was the first access you said?
It's a employee access. For example, when I joined as an employee in any company, I will be getting an employee ID, right?
So,
for example,
so literally you're telling me the MQ admins, they have nothing to do with adding people to the system or ignoring people. So it is like Unix people do that.
Yes, that's right.
But if
That's
we have
right.
to create, how if we have to create, how we create it, like how we create the
You mean if you want to create a user,
a user, yeah. Is that
simple.
like
There is a
simply
command.
add this is?
No, there is a command called user add in the Linux operating system. This command is going to add, this command is going to create a new user in the Linux system. So user add, if I do something like Mohan, then a user called Mohan is going to be created in this operating system. Okay. So,
Okay.
but this user add command can be executed with the root user only, because user add only root user can do. For example, if I execute this, it shows the permission issue because whereas the MQM user. So switch to root user. Now we are root. Okay. So before executing this command, let me show you one thing. If I do cat etc password file, it will show the users which are exist. Right now, do you see any user called Mohan in this operating system?
No, I don't see it.
No, right? So the thing is, now a employee called Mohan added in the organization, his ID has to be created because this is MQ server. He needs to have the MQM access. So first of all, what Unix team will do is they will create the user called user Mohan with this command. Now something is executed. Now if you do cat etc password, okay, now see we can see user called Mohan.
Yeah.
Okay, now yes, Mohan user ID got created in this operating system. Now the second thing what Unix team will do is they will set a password for Mohan user, because every ID has to be password authenticated, otherwise anyone can log in with that particular user. So to set the password, the command is going to be password Mohan. It means for Mohan user, I am going to set the password. So it is asking to choose a new password. I am choosing the password as Mohan at 123. It is asking to retype the password. Again, I am entering my password Mohan at 123. Okay, all authentication tokens updated successfully. Now the Unix team will update to Mohan user on a one-on-one email or one-on-one chat. Hey Mohan, we have created your user ID. This is your password. Only Mohan knows the password. Now Mohan can log in, can switch to this user. For example, sudo su minus Mohan. Or else we can do one thing. Hold on. So duplicate session. Okay, now I am logging. Mr. Mohan is logging. So Mohan knows only his password. Okay, Mohan. Now it is asking the password for Mohan user. Only Mohan knows the password for Mohan user. MOHAN at 123. When I enter the password, yes, now I have logged in. Now this is the first level of login. Now the thing is, although I'm a Mohan user, still I don't have the access for the queue manager because only MQ user can switch to Mohan user. For example, if I do to run NQSEQM1, definitely I will get not authorized error because it's a Mohan user, you can't access to MQ. You need to switch to MQM user for doing this. Now I have to place one more request. Hey Unixteam, can you please provide me sudo to nqm user so that I can access my queue managers in the server. Now again Unixteam is going to provide you the access to switch to nqm user. After that, sudo su minus nqm. Now it will ask for the password for Mohan user ID. Mohan at 123. When we enter the password, it says that Mohan is not in the sudo file. It means Mohan does not have the sudo access. Okay, once Mohan user ID added into sudo file of this operating system, then he will be getting the access to switch to nqm user with the sudo command. So this is how going to be in the real time. Getting now?
Yeah, yeah. So we cannot, I mean, you cannot do the sudo access right now here. You cannot create it.
I mean, there is a command. Okay, let me Google. I'm not sure of the sudo access. Let me Google and then let me search. Where is Google in your machine? Can't I access? Okay. Give me one moment. I'm just Googling the stuff. How to give sudo access to user in Linux? Sudo privileges. Log into the system as a root user, create a normal user, set the password, run the vi sudo to edit the sudo file. All right. Vi sudo. Remove the characters to start from the second line. Configuration option. Add the user created in the field group using the user mode. Okay, hold on. I got something. Vi sudo. No, first of all, we need to switch to root user. Can you give me the root password here?
Yeah, but I think you're okay. Anyway, let me see.
All right. So, uh, here, what is the file it is saying? Called MQM. Pattern not found. But what Google says, other people in group will to run all commands. Oh, it is at a group level. Oh, okay. Uh,
Okay, just you can check it tomorrow and show me for we can proceed with the class now.
yeah, sure. I think you can even also Google it for this stuff because I'm also doing the same because these are actually Unix admin activities, so I'm not that much confident in this creation of users and groups. But the procedure is going to be like this.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Let me do one thing for this and then user mode minus a g. Okay. User mode. Come on. Minus a capital G MQM mode. It means that I am going to add user Mohan to group MQM. Let me see if this works. Now ID Mohan is a member in the MQM group too. Now switch to Mohan user with the Mohan password. Fine. Now can he enter inside a queue manager? No. Yeah, so the only option is we had to switch to sudo, we have to give to sudo access to MKMachine. That's the only option. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. You got the context, right? The only thing
Yes.
we are missing is the command, how to give the sudo access. That is the only thing. So I'm not really 100% sure on the command because it's a Unix level work.
Yeah.
So clear? Getting a clarity now?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No problem. So can you stop your screen so that I can share mine and we can start with our IIT session.
Yeah. Think you shared already, or why I don't have why I don't see the button that says stop.
Click on go to meeting thing. You clicked it.
Yeah.
There, do you see now something called a screen there with some
What?
green symbol?
You stop sharing.
All
This
right.
thing is complete. It's not.
Yeah. Okay. Now you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in today's session, we are going to see some in-depth properties of broker and also JVM. Okay, not JVM. Some in-depth properties of an execution group. So especially for execution group, we are going to deal with the JVM manager property and also the EG the EG label property. And with the broker properties, we are also going to see a real-time issue which we commonly see, and then we are going to see how to troubleshoot that particular issue. This is what we are going to see in today's session. Okay. So let me tell you one thing. Now the commands are going to be bit lengthy, so do not get confused. Understand the commands what I'm going to type, because sometimes these commands I also used to get confusion. Although I have this much of experience, still I am going to confuse because the commands are like that. But don't worry, I am going to document the commands. I'm going to share with you. So do not get confused. Just notice, just clearly observe what I'm going to do. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the command I'm going to show you is to see some properties of a broker. We all know a command called MQSI report broker BR1. What? Okay, typo mistake. See, MQSI report broker BR1. We have already seen these properties and we already worked with the start MQ service as a defined. And we have already seen what exactly is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Now we are going to see some in-depth properties. The things which we are seeing right now, these are just the basic properties. Now, if you want to see some in-depth properties, then there is a command called MQSI report properties. This is very confusing command, but if you understand in a proper way, it's a very easiest command. Okay, so basically this command is going to show you the MKSA report properties command displays the values of the broker properties. So broker is having a lot of properties. So what are the properties that particular broker is going to have? We are going to see that properties, and there are two kind of syntaxes for MQSA report properties. Okay, so right now, do not concentrate on all these things, because if you concentrate on all these things, that will lead you another confusion, because it shares a lot of options. What are the things we can do with the MQSA report properties of a broker? So I will give you the straight command. So the command I am going to give you is, okay, let me note down it here. So MQSA report properties command for a broker. So it is going to be MQSI report properties broker name, use -b flag, and there is an option called all reportable entity names -a. This command is going to show what are all the reportable properties. I mean, entity, property, both are same words, not a different. Okay. With this command, we are going to display all the valid reportable entities, all the reportable properties for VR1. So let me execute this command and let's see what is the output we are going to see. Copy, paste. What happened? It's not executed. No, it's not executed. Some error. See, I also okay. MKSA report properties, broker name.
I think you didn't mention the broker name there.
Oh, HTTP listener entity we are going to see. Okay. So the command is going to be
The broker name.
hyphen, yeah, broker name -b HTTP hold on, listener, and then
I think you have to push the, yeah, -o.
yeah, -o all reportable entity names -a. So this command is going to show you the listener entities of BR1. What are the all valid entities for the listener property of BR1? So this is the command. So when I execute this, copy, paste, it is going to report the entities which are valid for HTTP listener attribute for BR1 broker. Okay, now this entity is going to have some sub properties. Right now we are just seeing the top level entity names, and each and every entity name is going to have a property. So the property is going to, if you want to see the entity names with the properties, instead of A, use -R, which stands for the recursive mode of the entities. Now it is going to show a big list of output. HTTP listener entity, and then the properties, HTTP connector, and then the properties, HTTPS connector entity, and then the properties of that particular entity. So the thing is, when we use A, it will just show you the entity names. But when we use R, it is going to show you the entity names, including the properties as well. That is the difference between -A and -R. Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is HTTP listener. So one broker can have only one HTTP listener, yeah.
Right. One broker can have only one listener. Huh?
So the other one is like sub-connector stuff. What
What
other
I
what other
I
what
didn't
other
get that one.
listen what other listeners are? Can you scroll it down?
Okay.
HTTP, yeah, connector. Okay, HTTP
These
connector and
are these are not
HTTPS
the
connector.
listener. Yes, these are not the listeners. These are the connectors.
Yeah, connectors. Yeah.
Okay, not the listeners.
So what's the function of these connectors?
Okay. The thing is, there is an URL. For example, I am opening a URL called google.com. Consider this google.com is working on a broker. With the help of brokers, you can build the URLs. Okay, so the thing is, this google.com is going to be, it is a HTTP or HTTPS. HTTP, it's a non-SSL. HTTPS, it's a SSL.
Yeah.
That is the connector. For example, google.com is developed in something called IIB. When I hit enter, okay, it is not showing here. How to do that? How to do that? Mozilla, no, I don't have Mozilla Firefox. Okay. So the thing is https/google.com. It means google.com is going to connect with a HTTPS connector. But if it is HTTP connector, use HTTP google.com. Then it is going to be just a HTTP connector. It means it's a non-secure one.
Yeah.
That is what HTTPS connector and HTTP connector. Okay.
Okay, listener, the HTTP listener is for the port on which the broker listens.
Yes, that's right. So non-SSL port is going to be 7080, and this is the default port. Even this port we can see using MTSA report broker also. We need not to use the MTSA report property. We use this HTTP listener port 7080.
Yeah.
So the same thing, yeah, the same thing is going to display here. But this is a bit in-depth level. That is just a basic level. That's all. Okay. So come to the HTTP listener thing. The thing is, this is having some properties, right? Out of these properties, do you see start listener property? It is having a value called true.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So remember this thing. Let me tell you one thing about this property. Right now, the thing is, if I do MKSA list, definitely it is going to show me my broker BR1 is up and running. And also when I do PS minus EF, I get BR1. It is showing me the listener, I mean the BIP service, BIP, HTTP listener, everything is up and running, right?
Yes.
Then only we can come to in a judgment that yes, my broker is up and running. Now, if I do MQSI stop and BR1, the broker is going to stop. Come on. Okay. If I do MQSI list now, definitely it is going to show me an output that the broker is on stop state right now. And if I also do PS minus EF 5 BIP, it is not going to show me any broker internal process related to BR1 because the broker is down, right? Now, if we execute MQSI start command, what is going to happen? The broker is getting started. For example, now the broker is running. Come on. Now the broker is running, and also if I do PS minus 5 grep, I could see all my services, all my broker, and the HTTP listener of BR1 is now up and running, right? You know, the thing is, here HTTP listener process of BR1 is came into running. You know why this process came into running? Because internally, the broker HTTP listener entity, the start listener property is assigned to true value. That is the reason why HTTP listener process of the BR1 came into up. Now the thing what we are going to do is, I am going to change this entity of the property with a false value. Now I am going to restart my broker and let's see what it is going to happen. Okay, and the command to change the property of HTTP listener entity of BR1 is going to be like this. So let me note it down. MQSI change properties. Report property is going to report the properties of a particular entity. Change the property is going to change the property of a particular entity. So change properties BR1 minus B. For which entity we need to change the property? For HTTP listener entity. So HTTP listener minus N and the name of the entity. Now minus O. Come on. Minus O. What is the name of the entity we need to change? HTTP listener. HTTP listener minus N, which stands for the name of the attribute. This is my name of the attribute. Hey, come on, what's happening? Control V. And icon B, which stands for the value of the attribute. I am going to set it as false. So this is the command. MQSI change properties, broker 1, HTTP listener entity, HTTP listener attribute, start listener property, and the value of the property. So let's execute this. Copy, paste. It says that successful command completion. Now, if I do MQSI report properties BR1 minus B HTTP listener minus O HTTP listener minus R, do it in a recursive mode. So the thing is, instead of all reportable entities name, I'm just using this so that only these properties, HTTP listener properties are going to display. Remaining properties are not going to display. Okay?
Yeah.
Minus R. Okay, now I can see only HTTP listener property. Now see the start listener property is assigned with a value called false. Fine. Value got changed from true to false.
Yeah.
Now the broker is running. And if I do PS minus EF VIP, it says that all the process are running. Now let's start the broker. Oops, MPSI start broker name. Okay. Now if we do MPSI list, definitely the broker is now start. And if we do PS minus EF5 VIP, broker costs are down. Now let's start the broker and let's see what happens now. In case it starts, we are one. Successful command initiation. Okay. Now if I do MQSI list, definitely it is going to show the broker is up and running. Okay. Now broker is running, right? It doesn't mean that if I do PS minus EF5 VIP, we need to display three process has to be up and running. Then only we can judge that the broker is up and running. Agree?
Yeah.
But see, only service is running and broker is running. But what about HTTP is not? It is not running. Hope
Right.
you
Yeah.
understand the reason why it is not running now.
Yeah. It is because of the HTTP listener is changing to
Yes,
false.
exactly. So this is generally going to happen in the real time. The thing is, when we start the broker, it is going to start the VIP service process and it is also going to start the VIP broker process. But there should be some problem with the HTTP listener. So the first thing we need to check it is if the start listener property is set to false or true. We need to check that. And how to check that? We already know the command MQSI report